So this is what the new showrunners have to remember when they reboot Melrose Place, where the characters left off in their last episodes from the original series, since they're not going to use any events from the 2009 CW series, which was awful, because the new writers of that didn't even watch the original. Okay, so as original characters started leaving, that started happening, well, the important ones. That started happening in season 4, at the end of season 4. The character of Jo Reynolds, she left in the season finale of season 4. She left to go to Bosnia with Dr. Dominic O'Malley. And he proposed to her, and she was crying, and she said, "I love you, I love you, I love you." And then we find out in the season 5 premiere that she had moved to Bosnia with him. The next important character, well, I would say, even if they're dead or alive, Kimberly. Kimberly died. Kimberly Shaw died toward the end of season 5. She had cancer, and she died in the driveway at the beach house. Then, take things a few episodes later, about 9 episodes later or so, was the season finale of season 5, which we lost the characters of Jake, Allison, and Sydney. Jake Hansen moved to Ojai to run a diner there, and his girlfriend, his ex-girlfriend, who he had David with years ago in the early 80s, they all moved together there. He divorced Allison, and he moved there. Allison divorced Jake, and she said to herself she's going to have a new start in Georgia, in Atlanta. And she moved to Atlanta. And Sydney Andrews was run over accidentally on her wedding day to Craig Field. Now, she was run over by Samantha and her father accidentally. Samantha's father was trying to escape the law. He had nothing to do with Sydney. He knew nothing about Sydney, yet in the 2009 reboot, they had said, "Someone from my past wanted to kill my husband. They said they'll kill my husband." So, those producers did not watch the show at all. They made it up that time. So, Sydney was killed. But, a few episodes before, she was going out with Carter Gallivan. He was a multi-millionaire who owned a computer gaming company. And he found out behind closed doors by listening that Sydney wanted to choose Kyle, the chef, over him, but she chose money. She chose Carter. So he told her he was going back to San Francisco to take control of his company. Now, did he? That's the thing. He could have been the one that faked her death. He could have stayed in LA, saw her get married, saw her get run over, and faked her death. Paid the doctor off. Or Martin Abbott, they said they'd come back someday, the cult. But I think the Carter theory is much, much more feasible. Season 6 premiere, Matt Fielding left. He moved to, I think, San Francisco to work with patients, AIDS patients or something. Michael got him the job. But in season 7 premiere, well, early season 7, we find out Matt was killed in an accident. Then, in season 6 into 7, well, in early season 7, the character of Billy leaves. Billy leaves, and he goes to Rome with Jennifer Mancini. The character of Dr. Brett Cooper moves to Philadelphia. And the character of Samantha divorces Billy, and she moves to Florida to be with Jeff Baylor, I believe. And the character of Taylor, she has a kid, Mikey Jr. And she takes him and moves back to Boston. She's already divorced from Kyle. And she has a kid, Mikey Jr., with Michael Mancini. And she takes him, and she goes back to Boston to run the restaurant, which her and Kyle had that before they moved to LA in season 5. And then, in season 7, the show ends with Lexi buying the building. Lexi Sterling bought the building. She was still living there in the last episode in 1999. Megan married Ryan, Kyle's brother. and I believe they were going to live at the beach house, while Kyle's dream house was being built again because he had destroyed it in a fire. So I believe Kyle and Jane were together. And Jane finds out she's pregnant with Michael's baby. And she doesn't want to tell him. So Kyle told Jane in the last episode, I'll raise the baby as my own. Michael will know nothing. Michael became chief of staff at Wilshire Memorial Hospital in the last episode of Melrose Place. And he faked Amanda and Peter's deaths. Amanda she had killed Kent DeMar in high school, and then Michael had embezzled money from Wilshire Memorial, some kind of fund, and he put the blame on Peter. So in the end, Michael faked their deaths, and they escaped L.A., and they went to an island, and they got married. Amanda and Peter. They got married. And I believe that's practically all the main characters. I could have left some people out. I know Craig Field killed himself in season 6 because he couldn't live with Sydney anymore. But those are the major ways people left the show. And the new writers should know this if they bring it back.